Disney Channel.
It's me, Hannah Hosho, and welcome back to another Miraculous Season 5 episode review. And in this video, we'll be reviewing Miraculous Ladybug Season 5, Episode 122, In Motion, the Peacock Miraculous Duusu. This episode is for Melissa Von Uppers. With that being said, let's
get this party started!
Spoiler alert!
The episode starts with Marinette and Adrian holding hands, while at Andre Glacier's ice cream stand with Andre narrating the ice cream, and the scene blissfully changes to what seems to be the edge of the scene, with Marinette and Adrian sitting beside each other, sharing their ice cream. After their long moment is shared, the two slowly stare into each other's eyes and attempt to kiss each other, but they are unable to because of the immense ringing of Adrian's phone. However, in a panic, Adrian quickly turns around and explains to Marinette that he's supposed to meet up with his father, so he cannot stay with her, even though Marinette is doubtful if this is the truth. In confusion, Marinette turns to Tiki after Adrian left, asking whether Adrian seemed to be acting weird. Tiki shrugs it off, saying that the two are always acting weird when they're each other. Soon we see Marinette, Alya, and Nino sitting together at a table, with Marinette talking about Adrian's strange behavior, and how he randomly decided to leave without telling her beforehand. Jokingly, Alya and Nino mock her, asking how, out of all people, Marinette is supposed to know Adrian's schedule off by heart, doesn't know where Adrian is off to tonight. Marinette argues back, though, stating that Adrian is free to do whatever he likes, and she isn't in charge of that anymore. To answer Marinette's previous concern about Adrian, Alya pulls out her alliance ring and searches up the Diamond's Dance, a society ball that Adrian's father, Gabriel Agreste, holds every year for his most powerful friends and their children. The group starts to talk about how strict the ball is, and that you have to be on the official guest list to enter, meaning people like Kagami, Prince Ali, Chloe, and Zoe would be there. The scene changes to Kagami and her mother fencing against each other in an open park until Kagami's mother states that they have to stop and get ready to attend the Diamond's Dance. Unexpectedly, while walking towards a bench with her duffel bag on it, a familiar voice yells after her name. Lila, with a sad tone, asks if Kagami is alright because she doesn't look happy. Kagami replies that, admitting that she has to go to the Diamond's Dance with her mother, but doesn't want to go because her mother and Gabriel Agreste were planning to introduce her and Adrian as the king and queen of the ball. Meanwhile, outside of the cinema, Zoe tells Marinette that she is not going to the Diamond's Dance, saying that it is just a place where hypocritical brats go. She then gives Marinette a white mask so that she can go to the dance and that no one will be able to recognize her. At the place where the Diamond's Dance will take place, there are bodyguards scanning the white masks of the guests. Mr. Agreste dismisses an incoming call from Lila Rossi on his alliance ring. As he welcomes Kagami and Mrs. Tsurugi, the bourgeois family suddenly enter. As Adrian goes to the Diamond's Dance, Marinette shows up and a bodyguard scans her white mask. Inside the place where the Diamond's Dance will take place, Emily Graham de Vanilli suddenly rushes in. As bodyguards try to keep her outside and fail, she pretends as though Felix is still missing. Natalie walks out the building with her, and Marinette takes her mask to the machine which scans it, allowing her to enter the place where the ball will be able to be taking place at. As she enters, she is wearing a white dress and the mask, as she pretends to be from an immensely rich family and makes up a fake identity. When Chloe Bourgeois asks her questions, she sees Adrian and Kagami sitting together high up. As they converse about Adrian and Marinette's relationship, they see their parents and Chloe's parents sitting together in a corner. As Adrian takes Kagami's hand and the dance begins, Marinette runs up to Adrian and tells him that he could have told her he was going to the dance. Chloe and Mr. Agreste become furious that Marinette is at the party. As they dance, the robots scan Marinette and Adrian dancing, and Chloe realizes that this was a result of Zoe and Marinette working together. When Marinette looks at Adrian's closer, she realizes that he is not Adrian and he's actually Felix, and asks what he has done with Adrian. Chloe jumps on Marinette and Felix transforms into Argos. He then releases Red Moon, a Senna monster, into the sky. Argos explains Red Moon's powers and makes Chloe disappear as the guests of the dance run away in fear and terror. He then makes Mr. Agrest disappear, saying he is freeing him, his mother, and Adrian from him. Argos is snapping his fingers and making everyone disappear. He makes Mrs. Tsurugi disappear when Kagami is about to help her get up. Devastated, Argos carries Marinette and leaps out of the building where the Diamond Dance is taking place. He takes Marinette to a bin and puts her there. Marinette transforms into Ladybug. She shows up when Argos is snapping his fingers and making random and innocent people disappear as Red Moon is getting bigger and higher in the sky. Argos tells her that is about it for his plans and the wish he will make when he merges her in Cat Noir's Miraculouses. By the time the entire world will have bathed in light of the Red Moon, Argos gets ready to snap his fingers and Ladybug uses her lucky charm and is shocked when she doesn't receive anything. She looks at him and uses her lucky vision and realizes how to defeat him. Ladybug accepts her fate as Argos makes her disappear in a puff of pink smoke. As Argos walks around, there is absolutely nobody left. No one, that is, except for Kagami, who is furious at him. Argos brings Adrian back, leaving Kagami shocked. He tells Adrian and Kagami about how they are all in a free world now. The scene flashes back to when Argos is at the top of a building and he creates an amok that enters a ring that looks just like Adrian's ring and creates Red Moon. Marinette and Adrian were eating ice cream at the Les Auxings, just like at the beginning of the episode. Argos is hiding behind a tree and watches them. Adrian runs off and he hides himself in the Red Moon in a changing room and calls out for Adrian. So Adrian goes into the room and sees Argos, and he tells Adrian to come closer and he snaps his fingers, making Adrian disappear. Argos de-transforms into Felix and walks out, dressing and looking like Adrian. He then takes off his ring and puts on a ring that looks just like Adrian's. He hides Red Moon, similar to how Adrian hides Plague. The scene flashes to the present where Adrian and Kagami are yelling at Argos, telling him to return everyone. He takes them both to where he hid Marinette. He's shocked when he doesn't find her there. He snaps his fingers repeatedly, trying to bring her back, but it doesn't even work out. Adrian and Kagami convince Argos to bring everyone back, and so he does. Ladybug swings her yo-yo to where Adrian, Kagami, and Argos are, and de-transforms into Marinette. So she catches up with them, and they rejoice and are reunited. Argos leaps and leaps away, apologizing to Red Moon and releases her from existence on a building, and he breaks down in tears, sobbing. Back in London, Argos de-transforms into Felix and hugs his mother as Duusu watches and tells his mother that Mr. Agrest is a monster. But not all of them are.
I know that.
When you look too long into the abyss looks back through you.
The next day.
As damages caused by Argos is being repaired, Andre makes Adrian, Kagami, and Marinette ice cream. At the Agrest mansion, Adrian asks his father as to why he couldn't tell Marinette about the Diamond Dance. Mr. Agrest replies that he doesn't want to hear about Marinette ever again, so he calls Natalie on his computer and tells her about how Marinette is almost getting in his way as often as Ladybug. He receives a call from Lila and asks her to stop asking him for demands. She states that she is an image of the brand, but Gabriel said that he stated that his perfume are images of the brand and he doesn't want to see them inviting to his events. He punches his computer in frustration and anger as he is sick and tired of people who don't know their place. Outside the Agrest mansion, Lila says that she will show Mr. Agrest that she is more than a bottle of perfume, and she seems to know that he is the monarch as the episode ends.
Did you know that?
Felix uses the Peacock Miraculous for the first time, turning into Argos, a Peacock-themed Miraculous holder. Marinette has stopped stalking Adrian, thank God, as she is unaware of the Diamond Dance, and it's revealed the reason why Felix wanted the Peacock Miraculous was to serve as a tool for him to get Ladybug and Cat Noir's Miraculouses so he can get his wish granted, to create a world without oppressors. And he also wanted the Peacock Miraculous for that. Even if Ladybug and Cat Noir refused to give him their Miraculouses, he would use its power through the Red Moon to transform the world to befit his vision. This is the first time Ladybug didn't get a lucky charm without having any interference, similar to Samboy. And this is the reason that will explain this, is that there was nothing she could do to stop Argos, as he was the only one who could end his plan. Because Argos needed to see the real outcome his world created for him, his cousin and Kagami, it caused him to upset those he cared about. What would have happened under the possibility he couldn't fully control his powers and realized how similar he was acting to his predecessors? He dictated of his plan, bringing everyone he made disappear back, and regretfully released Red Moon from reality. And this is the first Ladybug becomes temporarily deceased because of her partner. Gabriel will not let Adrian be able to see Marinette ever again, and Lila is revealed to know Monarch's true identity. Emily makes a reference to Nietzsche from Batman the Animated Series. This episode shares its name with the concept of the Peacock Miraculous. Besides the power of acclimatization, this episode showed the characters expressing their emotions openly and how those emotions guided their actions. For example, Felix expresses anger and hatred towards everyone he perceives as being oppressors, emotions that guide his actions to get rid of everyone except for the ones he cares about and or sympathizes with. His sense of freedom has an emotion that was corrupted too, and through Kagami's and Adrian's perspective, he learned that freedom isn't only about doing what you want, but it's also about sharing it with those you love and taking responsibility for your actions. He also wanted to free the world from oppressors, but by stealing the Miraculouses from the one who trusted him, he gave the power to the biggest oppressor of all. After realizing how he acted the same way as the other Peacock Miraculous holders before him, Mayura and Shadowmoth, as he created a Senna monster to satisfy his own selfish desires, he becomes full of grief when he is forced to destroy Red Moon. Felix unknowingly felt shocked when he looked at Kagami's ring. He begins to understand the emotional discipline all the good Miraculous holders are bound under, like Ladybug and Cat Noir, and why the powers of the Miraculous are given to certain people very carefully. Even though Felix said he didn't want to hurt his favorite cousin, but he ended up hurting Adrian anyway. This is the second episode Kalki doesn't make a physical appearance in. Marinette crashes into the diamond stands to tell Adrian that he doesn't need to hide things from her in fear of disappointing her. And as for Ladybug, she was still mad and angry and upset at Felix for his betrayal and actions in Strike Back, causing her to fight him aggressively like Cat Noir in Jubilation. She regained or kept her composure to rationally and asking Felix why he did it. It was true in what she said. Winning isn't always what you think it is, as she knew she couldn't win against Felix physically, but she won against him emotionally. While Adrian dancing with Marinette at the party, she felt like an outcast class, like why Zoe Hansen in Tokyo Mew Mew knew. Because, according to Karina, she doesn't even make friends with urchins. And Marinette is no longer stalking Adrian, and it's a sign of the emotional growth she developed in derision. Emily expresses her frustration and anger towards Gabriel the way he has been pushing her away, even ignoring her desperation in finding her son. Both Adrian and Kagami, especially the latter as she witnessed it firsthand, becomes very angry with Argos for destroying everyone they care about. However, unlike Kagami, Adrian felt the same anger, worry, and fear when it came to losing a loved one and feeling helpless about it for the fourth time following his mother prior to the series in Ladybug and Desperata and Hexon. Although the last three were done to the same person, after Argos brings everybody back except for Marinette, through their perspective, the two become very worried about her safety. When they see that she is safe, they become very relieved. And this episode also showed people disregarding the emotions of others. Gabriel forbids Adrian from bringing Marinette to the Diamond's dance or even mentioning it to her, as he wants him and Kagami to be the king and queen of the ball. Later on, he forbids Adrian from even mentioning her and is seeing her again. Doesn't even that remind you of anything, Scrappy? Hashtag justice for Scrappy Doo. He also disregards Emily, despite how he sees how desperate she is for not knowing where Felix is and Lila. However narrow-minded, he and Felix both have been acting in regards to the wishes they desired, as they were both so wrapped up in their own feelings they particularly forgot or didn't even care about anybody else who got in the crossfire, even reciting along with Natalie in Passion, "I have nothing left to lose." It also showed people containing their own emotions. Kagami is still afraid of telling her mother how she really feels. By the end of the episode, she decides she will do it. Natalie is seen containing her anger towards Gabriel for trying to join Adrian with someone else by force. She is also enlightened by how she is going against her feelings to avoid Gabriel, as it's the only way for her to get what she wants. The emotions towards the Cinemonsters also changed as well, as Gabriel and Natalie only saw them as beings to do their bidding and had no problems in destroying them. While Felix's feelings towards them were genuine and harbored with great sadness in destroying them. Even though he was unaware, Felix started to act like the akumatized victims Monarch had created and similar to others too, which are the following. The Bubbler, as they both were blinded by their rage and hatred towards those who had more authority than them like adults. They didn't differentiate that there are only good ones in the world too, even though their intentions were pure and for the same person. Adrian, Lady Wi-Fi, as both wanted something so small, but they went through to great lengths to get it no matter who they hurt. When it came to said lengths, they learned the hard way of why. Miraculous, as both wanted they cared about to be happy, but they went the wrong way about it. Pharaoh, as both assumed that Ladybug was a bad person when she is truly a noble and justice person. Queen Wasp and Dark Owl, as the trio wanted to prove that they were better than someone else, but did the opposite. Exactly. Like his previous predecessor, Master Fu, both created Cinemonsters with intentions that were pure, but due to not keeping their feelings in check with their creations turned into real monsters, both were able to fix their mistakes or see the error of their ways with the help from others.
A new ability of akumatization is revealed, as not only the creator can give powers and abilities to Cinemonsters they create, but the Cinemonsters can also do that for the creators as seen with Argos and Red Moon. So, in this way, it is possible for a Peacock Miraculous holder to undo the damage they cause as long as they have the power to do so. And, as well as the downside when it keeps them close, how bad Gabriel's influence as Monarch affected people, as due to him always feeding off of everyone's negative feelings. The people can't express themselves freely anymore, but that they'll have to keep them buried, as Marinette mentioned in transmission and more. And this episode was finished as of September 10th, 2022, which was last year. This episode reveals that Marinette and Adrian are now a couple, meaning that they officially become one sometime between the events of Adoration and this episode. It's revealed that Prince Ali's chaperone is named Arya Khan, and this is the first episode in which Gabriel isn't seen in any of his miraculous wielding forms. Consequently, it's also the fourth episode not to have any akumatized villains, following Scented Bubbler, Destruction, and Illusion. And it's also one of the few episodes where Gabriel is not a major character. This is the fourth time where Adrian doesn't transform into Cat Noir's, following Style Queen, Mr. Pigeon 72, and Transmission. This is the fifth time where the miraculous Ladybug superpower wasn't used in the following: Ladybug and Cat Noir, Catalyst, Destruction, and Illusion. This is the fourth time where magical charms don't appear since their introduction following Scented Bubbler, Hexon, Ephemeral, Kuroneko, Risk, Evolution, Destruction, Illusion, Passion, Reunion, Transmission, Deflagration, and Intuition. It's revealed that the reason why Felix wanted the Peacock Miraculous was to have the power he needs to force Ladybug and Cat Noir to give him their Miraculous, so he can use that absolute power to grant his wish of having a world where everyone is not oppressed by no one and is free to do or whatever they want. And the Peacock Miraculous also ensured he would get what he wanted, even if the heroes decided not to surrender their jewels to them. His superhero name Argos is a reference to the Greek mythological creature of the same name, and whose multiple eyes were placed by Hera on the peacock's tail. And yet, Felix is the fourth character overall that wanted the heroes' duo's jewels for themselves, besides Gabriel, following Markov, Bob Roth, and Natalie. Felix is the second miraculous holder to reveal his identity as such to the public, following Chloe, who revealed her identity as Queen Bee and Queen Wasp to the public. This is the fifth time a character has a musical number outside the specials after Silencer, Deflagration, Perfection, and Migration. Lila is shown to be one of the few people aware of Gabriel's supervillain identity alongside Natalie Sankoir, Adult Bunix, Felix Fathom, and Tomoe Tsurugi. And it's implied that Emily may be aware of Gabriel's supervillain identity as well. This is the 14th episode that features a post-credit scene following Miracle Queen, Gabriel Address, Optigami, Scented Bubbler, Dearest Family, Multiplication, Jubilation, Illusion, Transmission, Perfection, Derision, Intuition, and Protection. This is the sixth not to feature Gabriel Address following Multiplication, Jubilation, Derision, Intuition,
and protection. This is the last episode that Chloe has encountered Felix, as she would leave later in Revolution. So let's wait until December or January. This is the second time Ladybug received no item as her lucky charm, but unlike Samboy, it wasn't a result of power cancellation. The reason for this is that either Tiki was aware of Argo's desire, or that Ladybug realizes that she couldn't even have the chance to defeat him, since he already had the power to do what he wanted. It was best for Ladybug to let Argo see the consequences of his actions, which could possibly imply that a Kwami's level of awareness isn't limited to actions of their holders, but to those around their owners as well. So in extremely rare instances, a Ladybug Miraculous holder doesn't always need a lucky charm to defeat a villain. This is the 25th time where Ladybug's lucky charm is an object that appears in a previous episode, including the vehicles of Weird, Cream Banana, Glaciator 2, and Ephemeral. And this is actually the 29th time that this had happened. Following Mei Shi in Miraculous Shanghai, this is the second time a villain of an episode sees the destruction that they had caused. It's revealed that Kagami is a descendant from a family of samurai, and that she always follows her mother because it is her tradition for her to obey. It's implied that Felix wants to get rid of people in power because he was controlled and excluded throughout his life. It's unknown who controlled him, how, or to what extent. Sometime later in Pretension, he mentions to Kagami about that his father was even more controlling and strict than Tomoe, so it's possible that he caused his desire to free oppressed people, to be exact. This is the third physical appearance of London in the series, after Star Train and Multiplication. During Ladybug's fight against Argos, a scene from Evolution is reused, and this is also the third episode where Marinette crashes a party or private event following Party Crasher and Gabriel aggress. Ladybug saying that there is always a solution is a recall to Time Tagger. This is actually the fourth time where many characters are technically killed in the show following Timebreaker, Miraculous Shanghai, and Cat Blanc. But this is the first time it does by the effects of a Centimonster. This is the third time Felix impersonates Adrian, and like the other times it led to trouble following Felix and Strike Back. This is the fourth time Marinette's hair is seen in above following Anna Maestro, Kwami Buster, and Derision. This is the first time Marinette is seen wearing a dress. The scene Marinette got extremely angry and attacking a villain blind by anger without thinking calmly is similar to the Samurai Jack episode, The Search for Jack's Sword. This is the first time where the powers of the Peacock Miraculous is used by a minor, leaving a Comatization as the last miraculous superpower that hasn't been used by a minor, so the effects of a Comatization under these conditions remains unknown. Because Argos created Red Moon before transforming during the Diamond's Dance, the detransformation countdown of the Peacock Miraculous is yet to be showed or mentioned. Felix does share some similarities to Lord Shen from Kung Fu Panda 2, as both come from high-class families or royalty. Both are Peacock villains, while Shen is an actual peacock. Felix is the Peacock-themed supervillain. And both turned something that was supposed to be used for good to evil. For Shen, his parents, fireworks, and Felix, the Peacock Miraculous. Both did horrible actions in desperate bids to change their fates. Shen killed all the pandas and so nobody could be able to stop him, while Felix free to use his powers from the Red Moon to get rid of oppressors, so he and others can live in a world where they are free. But instead of causing happiness, they caused terror and were reprimanded for their actions. Shen was banished from his home by his parents, and Felix was chewed out by his cousin and Kagami. But unlike Shen, Felix was able to outdo what he did and felt great remorse for his actions. Both were defeated by great warriors. Shen was defeated by power physically, and Felix was defeated by Ladybug, Adrian, and Kagami emotionally. This is the 13th time Plague did not make an appearance following Prime Queen, Despair Bear, Male Dictator, Anna Maestro, Christmaster, Truth, Furious Fu, Guilt Trip, Crocodile, Killin, Destruction, and Determination. Unlike several other times where Cat Noir was deceased at the villain's hands, this is the first time where it's done to Ladybug as well as being brought back. If Gabriel thought he had a little bit more about through the crazy circumstances, Adrian did what he asked. First of all, it's likely assumed that both boys switched places once again, which made him believe that Adrian was with Marinette, but that wasn't even true when she crashed the party, believing he was there. As Gabriel didn't know that Felix made his son disappear as the miraculous holder Argos. Felix was in a bind too, knowing that he had known that Ladybug and Marinette were the same person, he would have been aware that he unintentionally roped Adrian into stealing from his girlfriend and would attempt to do that again. But knowing of his cousin's feelings towards her, most likely he couldn't touch her. If Adrian knew what Felix knew then, he'd be beyond angry. Also, there's another interesting fact that, as it wouldn't have mattered if Marinette had come to the party or not, as well as her not transforming at all because of Argus and his Senna monster. Had she not transformed to make it look like Ladybug was gone, and despite Felix knowing that his cousin loved Marinette, he also ran the risk of snapping her out of existence along with everyone else, leading to Felix learning the lesson another way. Even if Felix didn't even get a chance to realize it, he put Ladybug in the same situation she and her team were in during Strike Back. And this one is the best for last. This episode shows that Gabriel and Lila's relationship is beginning to crumble down as this begins Cerise Bianca's start of darkness and becoming the next Hawkmoth, also known as the next Proxina. Let's wait until Revelations, aka episode 124.
Now you know!
Overall, this actually was a pretty decent episode, to say the least, but Marinette actually kind of looked beautiful in a dress, and she actually did look quite astonishing in this episode. So either way, this episode's rating is a 7 out of 10, and the rating overall is a 3 out of 5. Next time, it's pretension.
What's the worst that could happen?
Calm down, Mox. You're gonna have another panic attack.
I am calm!
There.
But how could this be? This isn't right.
Everybody calm down! I'm sure things are all going to be okay. Trust me.